Hello everyone, I'm Shuting Sun from the University of Tokyo, and now I'm a PhD candidate in urban design life. It's my honor to share with you of my PhD studies. My research topic is social spatial effects and mechanisms of people-centered approach in the conservation of habitat heritage sites. The research background has two dimensions. First, the theoretical background is that the international approach to heritage preservation is changing from a material-based to a living heritage approach, which is people-centered approach and avoids the destruction of the traditional communities and protects community right to survive and development. So the meaning and name aim is different from the traditional methods. And the protected way is the community empowerment and the bottom-up methods. However, there are some practical paradoxes, like the people-centered approach in the conservation of habitat heritage faces many challenges. The, the existing framework of four continuities is spatial continuity, traditional care, functional continuity, and community participation. But there are some practical problems under the habitat heritage, like during the rapid population movement, the community identification is very difficult, and people don't know who is the core communities. And also, the level of intervention is difficult to know. Under the neoliberal economic system, many cities face the problem of homogeneity. And the third one is a value identification, because the changing values of urban communities and people place bonding. So it's difficult to know what's the exactly value of the community living in the habitat heritage. And first, I want to make a definition of my research object. Uh, in my research, the habitat heritage means a heritage set where communities live in with continuous production, and they have the formation of local identity and uninterrupted heritage creation. For example, like the historical towns or traditional villages. And the conservation goals of such heritage is to maintain the place attachment formation process and achieve the sustainability in all aspects. And finally, emphasize social effects of heritage site conservation. And the research question has three dimensions. First, from the theoretical framework, I want to know how is the people-centered approach understood in the habitat context, and how many types of people-centered approach in habitat context, how to define the core communities. And then I want to know what kind of social spatial effects does a current people-centered approach have, and how many community members' perceptions of heritage values and people-place bondings changed. And third, I want to know what are the mechanisms of people-centered approach in the context of Chinese and Japanese habitat conservation. And the research objectives is to explore the evolution of people-centered approach and their limitation and problems of implementation in habitat heritage sets, and then provide a typology of people-centered approach based on the process of formation of people-place bonding. And finally, develop a set of heritage management tools for habitat living heritage sets to ensure the authenticity and continuity of the place attachment of living habitat heritage. So the innovativeness of my research has two dimensions. First, from the theoretical innovations. This research will explore the theoretical evolution of people-centered approach through some first-hand archival literature survey. And the methodological framework for people-centered conservation of habitat heritage sites will be created. And the other hand, from the methodological innovations, I will apply both place attachment, which is subjective, and people-centered approach, which is objective, to evaluate the effectiveness of heritage management. So the methodology will combine the theory framework and some field research. The explanatory case, I will choose 2 cases to make the theoretical research and use the people-centered approach, case theory, and urban planning to build my theory framework. And then using the assessing case to make an empirical research, like some anthropological observation, sociological survey method. And finally, to know what is people-centered approach management effect, and use the psychology method to know the continuity and authenticity, make a mechanism analysis. And now the finding is just a preliminary. I have 3 findings. First is people-centered approach builds on but has a different focus from the living heritage approach. That is, the people-centered approach is that emphasize the importance of seeing heritage-related people as a core component of heritage conservation in the management process. And it identify when and where capacity development is needed and construct people-centered forms of change at the community and institution levels. And I tested the case of prayer in Thailand and found the social impact on such people-centered approach is to reintroduce the local culture and traditional way of life and connect people of different ages. Also, it has some impact on inspiring and empowering the citizens of Prague to act for their hometown. And the third one is the urban living heritage core values should consist of community identity and cultural traditions. This is the introduction of my PhD studies. Thank you for your listening.